Hey folks, JD here, and today we're going to try again with the Fairy. So I'm going to be, I'm just going to set her up now and just going to get her calibrated. So the first flight, even though it had some positives, she flew well when she flew. She was easy to control. There was no problem whatsoever in taking her around. But then she decided to land, she decided to unbind herself. It was just one calamity after another. And it really started to wear thin really quick. I mean, the battery life was great. We had over what it said we were meant to have from the battery. So today what I'm going to do is I'm first going to try just with the remote control, just with the transmitter. See how far we go. No FPV, nothing. Just see if it makes any sort of difference whatsoever. Now, maybe we can fly with it, maybe we can't. If you see me in the next shot with it on, it's because I have to have it on. Now, what I'm going to try with this, I'm just going to take it for a gentle flight around me. Nothing too big, nothing too small. Just to see exactly how she goes. Now, because the telemetry information is all on the app, I may be required to use the app instead. But I'll certainly give it a shot without and see exactly how far we go with it, and see if it lets me fly. So with that, folks, let's take her up, and hopefully this is going to be better the second time round. So obviously without the telemetry information you are missing quite a few things like satellites and things like that, but it will certainly let you fly without the app. Now we're in a different location today. It's got much different weather, no wind, whereas before we had wind and we had sun. Now we've got fog and no wind. So I just want to see exactly how this does. You know, I really had high hopes for this guy, I really did. But so far, nothing. Now, she does switch between optical flow and GPS. I mean, and that I didn't find there being much of an issue with that at all. You know, so... Oh! No, there we go. That was weird. She just all of a sudden just came back to me. See, it's happening again. She should stop around about here. Yeah, there we are. So she goes out of bounds, which is nowhere near. Oh, she's landed again. She's landed again. Yeah, she's landed again. So we are going to have a total repeat of last time by the look of it. Right. Okay. Can I immediately take off? No, I can't. I've lost bind again. So, right, okay. So let's knock off everything. Let's knock off that as well. Right, let's put that to one side. Come on, let's knock you off. Please turn off. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do on here, let's go to the App Store. Let's look to see if we have any updates for the Fairy. No, none. For Nest, Facebook, GearBest and Shazam, and that's it. And there's been nothing over the past couple of days. Nothing at all. So yeah, no. Okay, fine. Well, that's not going to work. So let's see if we can bind her onto the Wi-Fi. Let's knock her on. Oh, I forgot to hold it again. Right, okay, so we knocked her on. Let's see how far we go with this now. Let's knock off the Wi-Fi. Let's search for a broadcasting address. There we go, fine, let's connect. XT175. I've been out here now for about 2 hours, I think, flying a load of other quads I've had with me as well, and I'm really getting to like this fog. Right, okay, so XT175 is attached. Let's open up the Fairy app. And let's connect. Let's go mobile phone. Now, because we didn't have the telemetry information, we didn't know exactly how far that we had, how many satellites we had. We didn't know a lot of things about this. But now we get to see a bit more information. Like we have 16 satellites. We are under 2. I can't remember what they call it. H-Dod, is it, or something? Under 2. 100% battery, we know that to be incorrect. We got full GPS, we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take her up and we're going to see exactly how she goes. So let's take off. Up she goes. Right, we have video relay, battery is now showing 96%, 95, 94. Okay, so she does move, right? So I do have control over her. She is very, very slow, but I do have control over her. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at some of these features, and I'm going to see whether these features work and whether this automatically kicks in return to home. So let's do follow me. That was a bit strange. Clicked follow me and it went straight up in the air. Whether it has to, whether it then turns around and looks at you, I don't know. But as it's Wi-Fi, I'm a bit concerned in case I lose signal. So let's do it again. If I stand in the frame, or if I don't stand in the frame, the first time I did stand in the frame, let's not stand in the frame, let's click follow me. And now she's just going up. Okay, let's bring her down. Now, I've seen from the promotional videos of Fairy that I looked at after flying her the first time that you can have her low to the ground and she's just following somebody. So that's exactly what I want to try and sort of imitate there. You've got waypoints mode as well. That looks to be fairly okay. You've got you can alter your position. You can alter your thing for joystick mode, your analog sticks. That might be quite cool. You can also use your phone, which doesn't seem to want to work, but then again I'm probably holding it at a weird angle because I'm on a bit of an incline. So okay, well, we've got that all seems to be good. Let's, well, apart from the follow me, now let's see if I can turn her around. If I can get in the frame, all of me can get in the frame, and if I can click follow me, and once again she just wants to go up and she just wants to do that guided flight, it says. So now she's hovering up there, but now all she's doing is just rocking back and forth. What happens if I get in front of her? No, let's take her out of that mode and let's bring her down. She's just waving about up there crazily. I don't trust that at all. Right, okay, so now she's in front. We know the videos, we know the photos. Let's see whether I can get any video from her. So if I just click record, it records directly onto the smartphone. 720p, not 1080 when it records onto the smartphone. Yeah, so it looks to be a little bit more successful from using this. It does seem as if by using the smartphone that it doesn't return to home. It does keep you more in control, which is good. You know, don't get me wrong, it hasn't said return to home once, but at the same time I wanted to get a bit of distance on her. I wanted to use her with the transmitter. It comes with a transmitter. If the transmitter was separate and if it was more of an afterthought, then you would maybe understand why it wouldn't work as well. But it's not an afterthought, it comes with it, it should work flawlessly. But now we're at 59% battery, we're recording video, it hasn't gone return to home, it hasn't done anything else. So far we look to be okay. So if I can, so we're in American mode, sensitivity setting, let's put it into intermediate. Let's get a little bit more speed out of her. That's a bit better because beginner mode is extremely slow. Extremely slow. That's not a very fast mode either. And it looks, see, it's extra stable. It really is. It holds itself well, it flies well, it moves well. You can control it well from the smartphone, but it's not the point, it's not the transmitter. And that's exactly what I wanted to get working, was the transmitter. Now you can rock her around the place. There we go. I've still got full control of her. She's got good distance with the smartphone though. But at the same time, I wanted so much more from her than just this. Because that's exactly what was advertised. And that's exactly what I was after. But it doesn't look as if that's going to be the case. Which is a bit of a shocker. But at the same time, well, it should have been a lot nicer than this. It really should have been. Let's just hope that the picture quality is good. Let's just hope that everything else just works as well as advertised. Because for the second, it seems to be working much better from the smartphone than it ever has off the transmitter. So, I mean, if this was just a smartphone, right, and if it was just controlled by this, if it wasn't controlled by the transmitter, if that didn't even come into it, then honestly, I would say, hands down, this is an excellent quad. But, of course, it came with the transmitter, and I wanted to use it with the transmitter. I mean, we know that return to home mode works well, and that's great, but I wanted to use it for so much more. I mean, it's a bit like the Thi, isn't it? A bit like the Thi Dr. X, a bit like the Tello, a bit like the Me Too. So they don't come with transmitters, they are only controlled via smartphone. So from that, you know they're a mobile, camera platform. That's it. You don't expect it, or I don't expect anything more from it than that. This comes with a transmitter, that tells me a few things. Bit of distance, good flight, and all in all, just makes you think, wow, this thing is going to be good, it's going to respond very well. And it just doesn't until you put it on this. Who would have thought that? I didn't think that. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Well, at least we've proved one thing. We have proved that taking her onto smartphone is by far the best thing you can do for this quad. If you're not interested in flying smartphone, then sorry, your only other option is transmitter and having a return to home at this particular stage. Now there could be another firmware update that comes out in a couple of weeks, couple of months, and it could right this totally and make this quad into the best thing you've ever bought. But right now, I wouldn't buy it, and I've bought it. You know, but yeah, I think it's quite sad, really, because this had so much. Come on, land, you nut. And off, come on. Should I have initiated landing separately and not actually tried to manually land it? But surely there's a failsafe. Surely the optical flow sensor can't sense anything, so... No. H-stop is what they call it, not Hadoop. H-stop. Nope. Okay, fine, let's take her back up. And let's see. There we are, let's bring her in for an auto landing. And it just lands wherever it wants to. I hover it over the perfect place to land and it just lands on the floor. Right, so shockingly, this thing works extremely well on smartphone. Who would have thought that? I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought it would have been just as bad on smartphone. But this is clearly, they thought about how this was going to work. They thought about how everything was going to drive on Wi-Fi, and then gave it a transmitter. Now, motors cold, battery cold, everything's nice and cold, perfect. That's changed my thoughts of it a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. It has made me think that perhaps this isn't as bad as I first said, but in the package it comes in, I still stuck by my original thoughts. I just think that it's a bit better on smartphone, you know, which is a little bit shocking. But at the same time, it is what it is, my friends. It's a little bit better on smartphone. Let's hope that the video quality is okay. It's going to be 720, not 1080, as I said, because you're recording it onto your phone, not onto SD card. I've tried with about 3 different SD cards in here, surprisingly, and the SD cards don't get picked up in several different formats, including the formats it says in the manual, and still nothing. But still, I think I'm going to be using this a bit more and testing a bit more with it and seeing exactly how this grows over time. But I still think it's not ideal. It really is not ideal in its current form. But you know, at least we had a lot more of a successful flight, much more of a successful flight on my smartphone than we ever did on the transmitter. So at least that's a little bit of something, isn't it? All right then, folks. Well, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know exactly what you think of it as well. I'm quite interested to hear that. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, my friends. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.